Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and that's right, the last review for January, and for the weekdays. And that's right, now reviewing, of course, a computer animated film, and as I hinted, as I recall in my last review, yep, DreamWorks' first ever animated feature, and for this being the second ever computer animated feature, after Toy Story. And that's right, I'm of course reviewing DreamWorks' Antz. Yes, Antz. You know what, I actually think it's not that bad, and yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about this, the whole controversy with this film and Disney and Pixar's A Bug's Life. Well, because I'm sure a lot of us would know this, because supposedly Katzenberg, he took the bug idea with him, and he thinks that he owned the idea of doing a CGI bug film. And around the same time, you had both Antz and A Bug's Life released the same year, and just between each other. Like, Antz was released in October, and then a month later in November, A Bug's Life came out. So yeah, they were released, individually, just very close to one another. You get my point. And yeah, even because Lasseter and others, they felt betrayal of Katzenberg, because, even Lasseter, he was friends with Katzenberg, and, even Katzenberg claiming that the idea of Antz came from a pitch from Tim Johnson and, I guess, yeah, the other director of Antz, but Lasseter and the others at Pixar knew that wasn't the case, and obviously not, It's just Katzenberg, he just stole the idea of doing a bug film, he wanted to do it as well. But anyways, but here's the thing, Antz and A Bug's Life are very different from one another. Sure, they are both computer animated films, all about bugs, and they share a few things in common. You have the ant that's kind of doesn't really quite fit in. You have a princess ant, and who kind of get separated, leave the colony and such, something like that. But again, both of them are very different. And even say having the main villain in this film, Antz, is an ant, while in A Bug's Life it's a grasshopper, which being Hopper, of course. But anyways, the cast of characters Z being voiced by Woody Allen, Princess Bala being voiced by Sharon Stone, the General Ant, who's the main villain, voiced by Gene Hackman, Asita, however you pronounce that name, voiced by Jennifer Lopez, the Queen voiced by Anne Bancroft, and there were these two wasps, Chip the Wasp being voiced by Dan Aykroyd, and Muffy, who's a wasp as well, voiced by Jane Curtin, and Christopher Walken, who's in this, voices Colonel Cutter. Honestly, I liked the character Cutter, and besides, Christopher Walken voicing Cutter, I feel like, because you know what? The ants almost share resemblance to the actors, pretty much. And also, I forgot to mention, Sylvester Stallone voices Weaver, Z's, longtime friend, and also Danny Glover also voiced, one character who didn't have that much to do in the film, Barbatus, who, Z switches places. Z and Weaver, they switch places. Z joined, and enters in the army, being a soldier, while Weaver takes on Z's job, as a worker, a miner, digging and such. And that's when, Jennifer Lopez's character falls for Weaver. And Z, he fell for the princess when, they met in this ant bar, they danced. And of course, they do get separated when, when Z is accused of something, and, is when it's revealed that he's actually a worker and not a soldier. And besides, Z, and along with the soldiers and with Barbatus, they were going to war against the termites, and Z's the one who survived. He and Princess Bala, they separate from the colony. They make their way, Z's on a quest to go to Insectopia, which is actually really a garbage can. running, of course, into Chip and Muffy, and we get at least, like, one appearance of, like, a human, just, like, like shoes, and, like, and chewing gum that they're stuck on in a shoe, and, and here's another thing. In Antz, there's a lot of cussing, like, not that bad, just most notably, like, damn, hell, and even, like, Weaver at one point said, bitching, that's about it. Especially that one part where Z, when the human has a penny of Lincoln, uses it to get the gum off the shoe, which Z and Bala, they're stuck on, and when they look at the penny in Lincoln's face, like, Z says, "Who the hell is that?" Well, what does it matter? Like, okay, but of course they do make their way to Insectopia, and, but eventually, like, Colonel Cutter, who, as the movie was proceeding, like, it was starting to come to him, like, regrets, and especially with the General. And, of course, like, the Cutter takes Bala back to the colony, while Z has to make his way back to the colony. And, of course, he gets help from Chip, and here's another thing. Muffy, Chip's wife and lover, I guess, was squished. God. And, then, trying to remember. Chip, who was drunk, he helped out Z get back to the colony. Z and Bala, they're reunited, and, they even go for a kiss, and Bella informs her mother, the queen, and even gets Weaver and the other ants to, stop digging, and they make a ladder, and the general, him and the soldiers, they're up at the surface, like, a hole, like, is crumbled, and, the general refuses to help because, this is what's best for the colony, and Z tells him, "We are the colony," of course. The general's not listening, of course, and him just being evil, and Cutter punches the general, and Cutter, says to the general, "Something I should have done a long time ago. This is what's good for the colony." That's my best Christopher Walken impression. And then the general just shouts at him, "You useless, ungrateful maggot! I am the colony!" And bull crap, he's not. He's just being an evil ant, a traitor, basically. And of course, he was about to get Cutter, but then Z stepped in. Then he grabs Z, and they both fall down, while General, he falls to his death, hitting a branch, while Z almost drowning in the water, while, the soldiers, the ant soldiers, they help the rest of the ants come up to the surface, while Cutter flies down into the water, rescuing Z. Of course, Z does survive from drowning, and, a happy ending for everybody. And, now everybody, I guess, looking up to Z, and Z narrating the end of the film, and talking about his, like, mentioning, like, him and Bala planning to start a family, and, the last lines from Z, "The difference is, this time, I chose it." And we get a shot of New York and the World Trade Centers, the Empire State Building. And the song that plays during the credits, "Just what makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant," is that song. I think that's the name of it, or I could be wrong. Like, "Oops, there goes another..." I can't remember the name of the song itself, but you know what I'm talking about. Antz, I think, is actually a pretty good DreamWorks film, and it's not that bad. I like both this and A Bug's Life. And how do I rate Antz? Good question. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 stars, why not? I think Antz is pretty good, and what about you guys? Do you like Antz, and what you thought of the film, and what you thought of my review? Just leave comments and give this review a like, as always. So, with all that being said, 7 out of 10 stars for Antz. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Antz. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And that's it for January, and until February, and reviewing some movies leading up to my birthday, take care, and peace out.